You are not alone. You are being prepared for something greater. Perhaps you do not see it yet. Perhaps all you feel now is emptiness, confusion, even despair. But what if this emptiness is not a punishment? What if it is a preparation, a sacred space being carved inside you so something vast can enter? You are not alone, my friend. Existence never leaves anyone alone. It only creates the illusion of aloneness, so that one day when you awaken, you can see that the whole universe was holding you in its hands all along. You think life has abandoned you, but it is only stepping aside to show you what you are made of. You think you are being tested, but in truth you are being trained, refined, tempered like a sword in the fire. Every silence you are going through, every pause, every uncertainty is part of a deeper intelligence that knows what it is doing. You cannot yet see the architecture of your destiny, but it is being drawn in invisible ink. You are being prepared for something greater, something beyond the small games of approval and fear, beyond the endless search for meaning outside yourself. Life is slowly removing the toys, the illusions, the distractions, because it wants you to grow. And growth is never comfortable. The seed must die to become a tree. The caterpillar must dissolve into nothingness to be reborn as a butterfly. And you must pass through the desert of loneliness before you can drink from the oasis of your own being. But you say, I feel lost. I feel disconnected. Where is this greater thing you speak of? It is already here. It has always been here, but it waits for your eyes to adjust to its light. You cannot see the stars when the sun is shining. You cannot see truth when you are surrounded by noise. So life dims the lights, takes away the familiar, and suddenly you are alone. Or so it seems. The mind immediately panics. It says something is wrong. The ego whispers, you are failing. But existence is smiling, because finally the noise is gone. Finally you can hear your own heartbeat, your own consciousness echoing in the vastness. Aloneness is not loneliness. Loneliness is the desire for the other. Aloneness is the realization that the other was never missing. It was you who was missing from yourself. The greatest lie humanity has lived is that you need someone or something to complete you. You have been taught to look for your reflection in other people's eyes. You have been conditioned to measure your worth by how many hands clap for you, how many hearts approve of you. And when the applause stops, when those eyes turn away, you feel shattered, because your identity was built on sand. But life in its infinite compassion takes everything away at some point, not to destroy you, but to reveal what cannot be taken. That is what is happening to you now. The world may call it a crisis. I call it preparation. Preparation for what? For the awakening of your real self. There is a part of you that cannot be shaken by loss, cannot be broken by rejection, cannot be touched by time. That part has been asleep, lulled by the lullaby of society, by comfort, by distraction. Now life is shaking you, saying, wake up. You are not this mask, you are not this story, you are not this pain. You are the awareness behind it all. Yes, sometimes awakening feels like dying. The ego dies, the familiar dissolves, and what remains is a vast unknown. But that unknown is not your enemy. It is your home. When you are alone and silent, you begin to feel it, the pulse of existence, not as something outside you, but as something breathing within you. You are being tuned like a musical instrument to vibrate in harmony with the whole. Can you feel it? That restlessness inside you is not random. That longing, that question, why am I here? It is the whisper of your own being calling you back. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. The confusion is the chrysalis, the silence is the cocoon. The stillness is the soil from which your next form will grow. But the mind resists. It wants to rush, to escape, to fix. It cannot sit in uncertainty, because uncertainty is death to the ego. Yet all transformation happens in uncertainty. When a tree is growing underground, it is invisible. You cannot see the roots. You might think nothing is happening, but everything essential is happening. In darkness, in silence, so too with your soul. The divine works quietly. It never shouts. It whispers through the cracks of your ordinary life, through moments of solitude, through heartbreaks that break you open. And if you are courageous enough to stay, to not escape back into distraction, something magnificent begins to unfold. You realize you were never alone. You were simply being emptied of everything false, so the real could enter. If what I'm saying touches something deep in you, pause for a moment. Breathe. Feel it. And if it resonates, share your reflection below. These are not just words, they are invitations. Every comment, every shared insight becomes part of this collective awakening. And if you wish to walk deeper with me, subscribe, not as a follower, but as a companion on this mysterious journey called awareness. Now, let us go deeper. You see, when I say you are being prepared for something greater, I do not mean some grand event waiting in the future. The something greater is already within you, like a seed waiting for the right season to break open. The preparation is not happening somewhere else. It is happening through everything you are going through right now. Every doubt, every delay, every heartbreak. The mind keeps asking, when will I find my purpose? But purpose is not something you find. It is something that emerges when you are ready. You don't go in search of it. It blossoms naturally when the soil of your being is fertile. You cannot force a flower to bloom. You cannot demand a river to reach the ocean faster. Existence has its own rhythm, and when you align with it, you begin to see that even your pain has precision, even your waiting has meaning. But the modern world has forgotten how to wait. It worships speed, results, goals. We are taught to run, to climb, to achieve, but not to be. And so when life slows us down, we panic. We think something is wrong, when in truth, it is the first time something is right. This is why I tell you, do not fight your solitude. Embrace it. It is your initiation. Solitude is the temple where your real self reveals itself, not through noise, not through others, but in the deep, soundless presence of your own being. Yes, at first it feels frightening. You are conditioned to depend on noise, on people, on goals, on distractions, just to feel alive. But the more you sit in your aloneness, the more you begin to see that what you called loneliness was never loneliness at all. It was your own presence knocking at your door. The problem is not that you are alone. The problem is that you have never learned how to be alone joyfully. You have never been taught that solitude can be ecstasy. You have been told it is a sign of failure, that to be alone is to be unwanted. Society has poisoned the very experience that could set you free. I say to you, when you are alone, dance, sing, sit in silence and watch your breath move in and out. Watch your thoughts like clouds drifting across the sky. Do not resist them. Do not identify with them, just watch. And slowly something miraculous begins to happen. You start to see that you are not your thoughts, not your emotions, not even your body. You are the space in which all these things appear and disappear. You are the witness, timeless, untouched, infinite. When that recognition begins to dawn, loneliness disappears like a mist in the morning sun. Because how can the infinite be lonely? You see, loneliness is a misunderstanding. It happens when the mind identifies with the small self, the personality, the story, the mask. And of course, that small self feels lonely. It is separate, fragile, temporary. But when you remember your true nature, the sense of separation dissolves. You no longer need the other to complete you. You can relate, love, share, but from fullness, not from lack. This is what it means to be prepared for something greater. You are being prepared to love without need, to live without fear, to exist without dependence. And that preparation sometimes comes disguised as pain. You lose what you thought you could not live without, only to discover that you are still here, more alive than ever. You are stripped of everything false, and what remains is pure awareness. Have you noticed how, in moments of great loss, something in you becomes incredibly still? That stillness is your real nature. Life uses pain as a teacher, because pleasure makes you forget. When everything is comfortable, you fall asleep. When comfort is taken away, you awaken, if you are courageous enough to stay present. Most people run. They drown themselves in distractions. Work, relationships, entertainment, even spirituality becomes an escape. But if you stay, if you allow the fire of aloneness to burn away your illusions, you emerge as something new. You are not the same person anymore. The world may see you walking, talking, smiling, but inside there is a depth, a silence that cannot be disturbed. That silence is your preparation completed. So the next time you feel abandoned by life, remember, life is never cruel. It is compassionate in ways you cannot yet understand. It removes only what is no longer needed for your becoming. You are not being punished. You are being purified. And the purification continues until you can stand alone, radiant, whole, complete within yourself. Then and only then Can you truly meet another, truly love, truly give? Because love that comes from need is a bargain. Love that comes from wholeness is a blessing. So yes, you are not alone. You are being prepared for something greater. Greater love, greater awareness, greater freedom. And the preparation is happening now, in this very moment, as you listen, as you breathe, as you begin to remember who you are. You ask, if I am being prepared, then for what? What is this greater purpose? The mind always wants an answer, a fixed destination, but truth is not a map, it is a dance. The destination is not ahead of you, it is unfolding through you, with every breath, every experience, every surrender. The mind wants to know, when will it happen? How will it happen? But the divine does not reveal its plans to impatience. It only whispers to silence. The more you demand, the less you hear. The more you wait, the more you are given. Life is not a problem to be solved. It is a mystery to be lived. And the mystery unfolds only to those who are willing to live without guarantees. When I say you are being prepared for something greater, it means you are being prepared to trust, not in an idea, not in a God outside of you, but in existence itself. You are being trained to surrender to the unknown, because only through surrender does the miracle happen. Look at the river. It does not resist the rocks. It flows around them. It does not complain about the path. It trusts that every curve leads it closer to the ocean. That is how existence prepares you, by making you flow through obstacles until you realize they were never obstacles at all, but part of the journey. You suffer because you think you are separate from life. You think you are the doer, the controller, the planner. But life is happening through you, not because of you. When you finally stop fighting, you begin to move in harmony with the total. That harmony is what I call enlightenment. Enlightenment is not an achievement, it is a disappearance. The you that struggled, that feared, that demanded, begins to dissolve, and in that dissolution you discover the whole. So don't ask what your purpose is. Ask instead, am I present? Am I available to existence? Am I open to what this moment is trying to teach me? Your suffering has a message. It is trying to turn your eyes inward. When life hurts, it is because you have been looking in the wrong direction. You have been chasing shadows, wealth, power, approval, and existence is gently turning your face back toward the sun. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is the messenger of transformation. Without pain, you would never wake up. Without darkness, you would never appreciate light. Without aloneness, you would never know love. And yet, look at humanity, running endlessly from pain, medicating every discomfort, drowning every silence with noise. People do not realize that by escaping pain, they also escape growth. When you avoid the storm, you miss the cleansing. When you hide from the fire, you remain cold and untransformed. So, when pain comes, do not run. Sit with it. Breathe into it. Ask it, what are you trying to teach me? And you will be amazed, because pain has intelligence. It is not chaos, it is communication. The soul speaks through pain when you refuse to listen in peace. It whispers first, then it cries, then it breaks you open. And only when you are open can light enter. This is preparation. This is grace disguised as suffering. The ego calls it tragedy. Existence calls it awakening. Do you remember how gold is purified? It must go through fire. The fire does not destroy it. It removes what is not gold. That is what life is doing with you. The fire of loneliness, confusion, loss. It is burning away the false so that the real may shine. The real cannot be given to you. It must be revealed through your own being. That is why no master, no book, no belief can give it to you. I can only point. The rest is your own journey. When you finally understand this, a deep peace settles in your heart. You stop demanding explanations. You stop asking, why me, and start whispering, thank you, because now you see the intelligence behind every turn of your path. Even your mistakes were part of the preparation. Even your failures were sacred. They broke your pride, they softened your edges, they made you humble enough to see. And now, life can finally work with you, because a closed hand cannot receive. Only when you open, completely, vulnerably, does the divine pour itself into you. This is the paradox. You are being prepared for greatness, but that greatness will only come when you no longer seek to be great. You will become extraordinary only when you are willing to be nothing. When you drop the illusion of control, the universe begins to move through you effortlessly. You become a flute, and existence plays its music. You become a window, and the divine light passes through. And then you understand, there was never a you separate from life. The river was always the ocean in disguise. This realization cannot be taught. It must be lived, and you are already living it, whether you know it or not. Every silence, every tear, every longing is part of the preparation. You are not alone, you never were. You are in the hands of something vast, intelligent, infinitely loving, something that knows you better than you know yourself. Trust it, surrender to it, and watch what happens. When you finally surrender to the flow of existence, something miraculous begins to unfold. What once looked like chaos starts to reveal its hidden order. You begin to see patterns where before there was only confusion, purpose where before there was only pain. The same experiences that once broke you now become teachers. The same loneliness that once felt unbearable now becomes your most intimate companion. You begin to realize that every silence was a seed, every absence was an invitation. You were never waiting for life. Life was waiting for you to stop resisting, to stop clinging, to stop pretending to know. Waiting for you to finally say, "Yes, I don't know. Guide me." That is the moment preparation turns into transformation. When the seeker drops the search, the truth reveals itself, and suddenly what you called loneliness becomes the doorway to love, because now you are no longer trying to fill a void, you have become the space itself. You are no longer chasing connection. You are connection. You are one with the pulse of the universe. In that state, relationships no longer come from need. They come from overflow. You don't look for someone to complete you. You share your completeness with them. You don't love to escape loneliness. You love because you have discovered love as your very nature. And here is the beautiful paradox. When you are truly alone and content, life sends others to meet you. When you no longer need, you attract abundance. When you stop chasing meaning, meaning arises on its own. Existence responds to your vibration, not to your desires. When you vibrate in lack, you receive lessons. When you vibrate in gratitude, you receive grace. That is why all preparation is inward. The world outside is only a reflection. If there is turmoil within, the world will appear chaotic. If there is peace within, even the storm outside becomes a dance. You see, existence is not trying to punish you. It is trying to mirror you. It is a perfect teacher, infinitely patient. It gives you the same lesson again and again in different forms until you learn to see. And the lesson is always the same. Return home. Come back to your center. Come back to silence. Come back to awareness. Because from that space, everything changes. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop controlling and start cooperating. You stop surviving and start living. That is what I mean by being prepared for something greater. You are being prepared to live consciously, to exist with awareness. And that awareness transforms everything it touches. When awareness enters, even pain becomes sacred. You no longer ask, "Why is this happening to me?" You begin to ask, "What is this revealing in me?" The question shifts from blame to understanding. And that shift is the beginning of freedom. Freedom is not something you achieve, it is something you remember. It is your natural state, forgotten under layers of conditioning, fear, and false identity. The preparation is simply the process of remembering. The moment you remember, all fear dissolves. Because fear exists only in the mind that believes it is separate. When you see that you are part of the whole, that you are not the wave but the ocean itself, fear disappears as easily as darkness vanishes when light enters. And with that, life becomes play. You act, but there is no tension in your action. You love, but there is no dependency in your love. You speak, but silence remains behind every word. This is the flowering of awareness, effortless, graceful, spontaneous. But remember, it cannot be forced. You cannot make the flower bloom by pulling its petals. You can only create the right conditions, patience, presence, surrender, and let existence do the rest. The modern mind has forgotten the art of letting things happen. It knows only how to make things happen. But existence is not a project, it is a mystery. You cannot conquer it, you can only cooperate with it. So let go. Let life sculpt you. Let it shape you, polish you, refine you. You are not the sculptor. You are the marble in the hands of the divine, and the divine knows what it is doing. It may cut deeply at times, but every cut brings out a hidden beauty. Every loss is a revelation. Every ending is a beginning. Once you understand this, gratitude becomes your natural fragrance. Even for your darkest days you say thank you, because you can now see how they prepared you for the light. The greatest joy of awakening is not in finding answers, but in realizing that you no longer need them. The mystery is enough. The silence is enough. Being is enough. And from that enoughness, everything flows. Creativity, compassion, laughter, love. You no longer live from effort. You live from grace. You were being prepared all along, but not for some distant future. You were being prepared to be fully present now. This moment, this breath, is the culmination of your entire journey. Everything you have lived, every joy and every heartbreak has brought you here. Can you feel it? The quiet hum beneath your thoughts, the stillness behind your heartbeat. That is the something greater. It was never outside of you. It was always you. When you truly understand that you were never alone, something within you relaxes. The struggle ends. The constant search for meaning, approval, belonging, all fade into silence. And in that silence, you finally meet yourself. That meeting is the greatest revelation of all. You look within and realize, I am the one I have been waiting for. You are the friend you have been seeking in others, the teacher you have been searching for in books, the love you have been begging for from the world. When this realization dawns, a lightness enters your being. You no longer carry the heavy burden of becoming someone. You no longer live to prove or to please. You simply live, spontaneously, freely, joyfully. You move through the world like a breeze, touching everything, possessing nothing. You are in the world, but not of it. You play the game of life, but you no longer get lost in it. And then, something extraordinary happens. Life begins to cooperate with you, because you are no longer fighting it. You have become aligned with the flow, and existence recognizes itself in you. You see, when you resist life, you create friction. When you trust life, you become one with it. Trust is the bridge between the human and the divine. It is the secret ingredient of awakening. So let this be your remembrance. Every time you feel lost, remember, you are being guided. Every time you feel alone, remember, you are being held. Every time something is taken away, remember, space is being made for something new. The greater thing you are being prepared for is not in the future. It is the awakening of your own consciousness. It is the shift from being a seeker to being a presence, from asking why me to whispering thank you. And in that gratitude, you begin to live as a blessing to the world, not by trying to change it, but simply by being what you are. Awareness, love, stillness. A single person who is awake radiates more light than 1,000 who are asleep. Your peace becomes contagious. Your silence becomes music. Your very presence becomes a reminder to others that they too are not alone. That is how the divine works, not through preaching but through presence, not through effort but through being. You were being prepared for this moment, to become a mirror in which others can see themselves clearly, to become a doorway through which the divine can touch the world. So if you ask me, what should I do next? My answer is simple. Be present. Be utterly, totally, uncompromisingly present. That is the highest meditation, the purest prayer. Sit quietly and watch. Feel the breath moving through you. Feel the heartbeat echoing the rhythm of the cosmos. There is no separation. You are existence experiencing itself in human form. When you know this not as a thought but as a lived reality, a deep laughter arises. The laughter of one who has awakened from a long dream. You were never incomplete. You were never lost. You were never abandoned. You were simply asleep. And now, you are awakening. Slowly, gracefully, beautifully, just as the sun rises not with effort but with certainty. This awakening is not the end. It is the beginning of a life lived consciously, the beginning of love without fear, the beginning of freedom without boundaries. Do not rush it. Do not try to hold it. Let it unfold naturally as a flower opens to the morning light. Be patient with yourself. Even now, existence is shaping you, polishing you, preparing you for deeper love, higher awareness, purer truth. Every breath, every silence, every fall, every rise, it is all part of the preparation. And one day, you will look back and smile, You will see that nothing was random, nothing was wasted. Every tear had its place, every moment its meaning, because life is not happening to you. Life is happening for you, and ultimately, through you. That is the sacred mystery, the divine preparing itself to know itself through you. So, my beloved, remember, you are not alone. You have never been alone. You are being prepared for something greater, something that has no name, no form, no beginning, and no end. You are being prepared to become what you have always been. Now take a breath, feel it. Let this moment settle into your being, and if this truth has touched something in you, share your reflection. Leave a comment, not as an opinion, but as a piece of your awakening. Someone out there may read your words and remember their own light. And if this message resonates, stay with this space. Subscribe, not for entertainment, but for remembrance. Each word, each silence, each reflection here is a step back toward yourself, because that is what this journey is about, returning home. Home is not a place, it is a presence. Home is not somewhere you go, it is who you are when you stop running. So stop running, sit, breathe, be, and know you are not alone. You never were. You are the very essence of the something greater that life has been preparing you for all along.